You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, I want to bring this up here. And so y'all know how I feel about that truly stupid and ignorant Candace Owens, who made some of the most illogical, nonsensical comments regarding the case of Ahmaud Arbery, trashing him, saying black folks, why y'all, he was stealing, wasn't jogging. Well, things got a little heated on social media in the last 24 hours, where a group of black conservatives have actually been standing up and called her comments out. It's been real interesting, Malik, seeing this back and forth take place with this one sister who's a conservative named Sonny Johnson. And she, of course, has been battling with Candace on this. And what was interesting is that these black conservatives, what they laid out is that they said that point blank, they condemned her particular comments. I just need, I'm going to pull up their whole statement in a second. But can somebody just explain to me why you have black conservatives like Candace who, anytime it's just won't call white folks out for nothing, but will trash black people for raising a big stink about the Ahmaud Arbery case? Here's the deal, Malik. If black people didn't say jack, those two guys are still sitting at home. If black folks said nothing about Breonna Taylor, guess what? Nothing happens. And so what's up with some of your fellow black conservatives who have more vitriol towards black people who fight for justice than the white folks who are defending these two idiots who killed Ahmaud Arbery?
So we're going to... This is what I'll say. As someone who was a lifelong Democrat until I voted for Donald Trump, it's a lot of, and I appreciate a lot of the black conservatives who are coming out condemning her remarks. I condemn her, not her remarks. I condemn her. And I actually wrote a piece on that, condemning her remarks. Condemning her. And
how do you condemn her but not her remarks? I don't understand that.
No, well, let me clear that up. What I was saying is that people are condemning her remarks. I condemn Candace Owens and what Candace Owens actually stands for as it relates to growing the black conservative movement. Now, Candace Owens has been this way forever. And people say, she is definitely one of the most visible black conservatives that we have out of there. But for all intents and purposes, Candace Owens is a Trump supporter. Candace is not, I understand what she's doing with the whole Brexit movement, but for all intents and purposes, Candace Owens is a Trump supporter. Whether or not she'll be around after Trump leaves, I don't know.
But wait, I'm trying to understand the distinction. So what you're saying, you're saying she's not a black conservative, she's a Trump supporter. But wait a minute, you just said that you were a Democrat and then you voted for Trump. So aren't you a Trump supporter and not a black conservative?
Absolutely. And actually, in my case, the distinction that I would make between me and Candace is
hold on. I want to be clear before you make the distinction. Hold on. Wait. I just want to be clear before you make the distinction. So you're saying that you're not a black Republican or a black conservative. You're a Trump supporter. So are you still a Democrat but a Trump supporter?
Yeah. So let me finish my point. Where the distinction between me and Candace is that I'm actually out there trying to bring people into the Republican Party. Candace, and she's admitted to it, Candace, she wants to move people away from the Democratic Party. I want to increase the numbers of people in the Republican Party. Until today, and I don't know, maybe it'll change tomorrow, Candace at no point has that been her focus. So when I say that Candace Owens is a Trump supporter, I think a lot of us, people just in America in general, they kind of take on the mantle of being a black conservative. Well, what does that mean? If you ask people what does being a black conservative mean, a lot of them really don't have answers. And because I've had these conversations with many people who now consider themselves a black conservatives, what they're really talking about is that they actually support Donald Trump. That doesn't mean that they are not conservative, but as for my purposes, Candace is totally different from a lot of those people, and the people that you saw in the op-ed, the article that you're talking about. A lot of those people are actually involved in the movement to bring more people into the party. I'm not sure that that's Candace's goals. Again, I understand what she's doing with Blexit, but I'm not sure that's Candace's goal. I've criticized Candace over and over and over again because I think that what Candace does, and as I wrote today, when she makes comments as she does, what happens is that there's an anvil that we have to wear around our necks when trying to defend the party against people just like her. But make no mistake, and I'll just say this very quickly, make no mistake, Candace is in a long line of Black people who have done this, whether they consider themselves Black conservatives, Black Republicans, or whatever. Candace didn't start this game. She's probably the biggest that we've had in this age of social media, but Candace didn't start this game. And you can look at the Republican Party itself, Black Republicans in the party, Black conservatives in the party, they participated in this. So the same people who are actually paying Candace's, depositing money into her bank account, many of these other conservatives have benefited from those same entities.
Okay, so you're now a Black Republican.
I've been a Republican.
No. That's why I was trying. It was all over the place. I was trying to just understand what on the deal of what's going on. Okay, all right.
I've always, and anyone who knows me, when they ask what am I or whatever, I always actually reference that I'm a Republican because that's what I am, and I'm interested in bringing people into the Republican Party. That's exactly what I am.
Okay, here's a statement. Eugene Craig, of course, appears on our show often. He's the author of this statement, Black Conservative Statement on Candace Owens tweets. We, the undersigned Black conservative leaders, unequivocally condemn the hate-filled and destructive words tweeted and spoken by Candace Owens in the freest county on the face of the earth. I think that meant country. In the freest country on the face of the earth, no Black man deserves to be gunned down like a dog in the street. Blackness is not a weapon. Blackness is not a threat. The words spoken by Candace are not reflective of the Black conservative movement and should be universally condemned by the broader conservative movement and all who support freedom and liberty. Her words provide shield and cover for these type of incidents to continue. This is not the role of the Black conservative. Our hearts go out to Ahmaud. Actually, Ahmaud is misspelled. Ahmaud Arbery's family, and we continue to lift them in prayer. Black men and women have a right to live freely in this country. We all have a responsibility to protect that right. We have a responsibility to condemn, her hate-filled and inaccurate tweets and statements. The thing, Kelly, that was interesting about this, again, is that you immediately see, and this is where, so this segment is not, this ain't all about Candace. I don't give a damn because she's stupid. She dumb, and other people who follow her dumb too. But what you find is, who are the people who are the quickest to stand with the two men who killed Ahmaud Arbery? White conservatives. Mm-hmm. You think back to Zimmerman. Now, there have been conservatives, white conservatives, who said this is foul. Eric Erickson was like, I don't care what none of y'all say. I don't care if he was looking inside of a house. That is not licensed to shoot and kill this man. But when you look at these people who are the most vocal saying, oh, first y'all was saying hands up, don't shoot. Now y'all saying he was just jogging. It's real interesting. The people who most are likely to side with Travis and George McMichael are white conservatives.
I mean, it's not so interesting when you look at the history of the conservative movement and why people switched from being Democrats to conservatives back in the late 50s, early 60s during the civil rights movement, going from Dixiecrats to Republicans and the like. But what I will say is specifically when it comes to Black conservatism, I am not part of that number, but I have observed that based off of the ideologies of my friends who are, I would be hard-pressed to consider a Black person who considers themselves conservative or Trump supporter to be true Republicans, because Trump himself does not align with the ideologies that I know of the Republican Party. So when Candace Owens saying, like, I agree with Malik to an extent when he said that Candace is a Trump supporter, but that's the only extent to which I will agree with Malik on this case, because her aligning with Trump, just by way of what Trump has done these past couple years and how his ideologies have come to light, I would venture to say that he's not truly a Republican. I would also venture to say that white supremacists aren't necessarily Republican, they're just not Democrat. And that's the problem with a bicameral party system, is that if you don't agree with one, it's kind of like you have to go to the other if you want your voice to be heard. And that's where we get a lot of conflating ideology. That's where we get a lot of false narratives when it comes to these parties and their ideologies. Because when you look at conservatism and when you look at the Republican Party and what their ideologies are, it's not that of Donald Trump. It's just conservative.
Well,
Donald Trump is in a class of his own.
Well, and I think, but it's like the point I raised, Amisha, about the NRA. Will they stand with, they're supposed to all about, licensed gun owners and Second Amendment and defend yourself, but they are very much pro-cop. In the case of this brother in Louisville, okay, you're the NRA? Same thing I said when John Crawford was killed in that Walmart in Ohio. All right, NRA, show us what y'all really stand for. And the reality is they're more likely to stand for conservative ideals. And this is when black people say, hold up, if y'all supposedly real, where are you on this one right here? And in this case here, automatically it's white conservatives and some blacks sitting there running behind this case. And to Malik's point, you got black conservatives who are like, yo, what the hell? What the hell? But what it's showing, Amisha, is showing you might think y'all in this thing together, but y'all ain't in this thing together. You might be black and conservative. They might be white and conservative, but your ass still black, Amisha.
Absolutely. And I think that is one of the most salient points of all, because at the end of the day, whether somebody chooses to be a black conservative because of the era of Trump and their grifters, like what we've seen from Candace Owens, or if they are a hardline conservative following all the conservative principles, you can never be conservative enough to erase your skin color or the burden that comes along with it. That is where we are in America. So Candace saying completely ridiculous things and comparing this death to the many deaths that she counted in black on black crime and, calling out LeBron James and going down a whole litany of ridiculousness to try to substantiate why a young man would literally be hunted down by two white men in a pickup truck with guns circa 1800s, 1952. We haven't seen this in America in a really long time, but somehow she thought that she was in a place to make a justification for it. That's a problem. I do applaud to a certain extent the black conservatives who felt it necessary to come out and say something this time, but Candace Owens has railed against black people for a long time. She has literally cast a name for herself by throwing all types of negativity on the black population. She is what the Republican Party has wanted for a very long time. Someone who looked like a black person, someone who spoke like a black person, someone who couldn't walk into a room and be mistaken as anything other than a black person, but someone who could also sell talking points of whiteness, talking points of racism, and it go over well. And now she's reached a point where people are calling her out, finally.
The thing here, again, Malik, at the end of the day, your ass might be as conservative as you want to be, but you black. Hell, we don't know who Ahmaud Arbery voted for. We don't know any of that, but what we do know is he dead. And what we do know is the people who are standing with the individuals who shot him, who are trying to tear him down, are largely white conservatives. And then you got that fool Candace and others. But again, but this is where it don't matter. It's the same thing. Look, Cleo, others on this show, brothers and sisters who are same gender loving will say, yeah, we gay, but you white gay, I'm black gay. You black conservative, I'm white conservative, yeah, but you black, still white. The reality is, White is still the operative word in white conservative is white.
It's white.
Born black, will die black. Go die black. That's exactly what it is. And what I've seen now, and I've been kind of witnessing over the past year or so, what I've seen now is that people have said, and it's usually, well, it's the number of conservatives that I've seen come out and speak out against it, the black conservatives, you know, this is a long time overdue. And like Amisha said, this isn't Candace's first time at the rodeo. It's just that this is the first time you've actually seen people willing to come out and criticize her. And the reason that they have not is because of what you said, Roland. So those white conservatives that you talk about, and I will say that I've met awesome white conservatives out there, absolutely awesome white conservatives. But the ones that Candace appeals to, where she appeals to their racism, their prejudice, and their bigotry, those are the people that you're talking about. The ones that will get on social media and say, well, what about black on black crime? Before the ink was dry, Candace came out of Twitter jail and started attacking Ahmaud. That's exactly what she did immediately when she came out of Twitter jail. And then she tried to kind of backtrack it and say, well, there may be other things. No, she did it because she does it because these are the people who pay her paychecks. And so that's what she has to continue to do. I don't know. And I've heard people say, well, you know, that we have a big tent. Yes, the conservative Republican Party has a very big tent. Conservatives, whatever, very big tent. But for my purposes, Candace Amber Owens does not speak to me or any of my conservatism. She just doesn't.
Every single night, we've got some of the top black experts. You're not going to see them on cable news or broadcast news because you swear black people aren't experts when it comes to this health crisis. That's why we have this show and why we do what we do every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Joining us right now is retired General Russell Honoré, the nation's first black Surgeon General, Dr. Joycelyn Elders. John Hope Bryant, he's the founder of Operation Hope. Senator Kamala Harris of California, Dr. Sadrina Calder, retired General Lloyd Austin, Congresswoman Karen Bass, Commissioner Omari Hardick, Bureau President in Brooklyn, Eric Adams, Dr. Joseph Graves, America's Wealth Coach, Deborah Owens, Dr. Corey Abear, Patel Salt, Howard University student, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Dr. Christy McDowell, Benja Ajilore, senior economist at the Center for American Progress, Gilda Daniels, again, author of the book, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. 4 stars, General Kip Ward. Dr. Oliver Brooks is president of the National Medical Association, president of the American Medical Association, Dr. Patrice Harris. Joby Benjamin, Dr. Alexia Gaffney, infectious disease specialist, Dr. Georges Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, Malcolm Nance, family medicine physician, Dr. Jen Caudle, Dr. Tashaka Cunningham, a molecular biologist, Kat Stafford. She's a national race and ethnicity reporter for the Associated Press. Dr. Wayne A.I. Frederick, who is the president of Howard University, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke from the state of New York, William Spriggs, AFL-CIO economist, Andrea James, executive director of the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. All right, let's go to Capitol Hill. Congressman Gregory Meeks, Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson of Texas, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, mental health clinician Jamie Singletary, Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Bradeboy, as well as Dylan Hayrie, ACLU Justice Division strategist. Dr. Cindy Duke, she's a virologist. Principal Steve Perry of Capitol Prep. Health and wellness specialist Dr. Yolandra Hancock. Desmond Meade, president of the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. Cliff Albright, who is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Michael Harriet with the Root. The Mina McWhorter, founder of Love by the Hand. Dr. Julianne Malvo, economist, president, Emerita Bennett College. Coroner Michael Fowler is the mayor of Atlanta. Keisha Lance Bottoms, mental health therapist Suzette Clark. Justin Gibney, attorney and political strategist, and Bishop Vincent Matthews Jr. Dr. Suzette McKinney, CEO and executive director of the Illinois Medical District. Dr. Leon Madugal, president-elect of the National Medical Association. Jana Bailey, mayor of Moss Point, Mississippi, Mario King. We're going to keep driving this thing to make sure our people are fully aware, safe, protected from coronavirus. You're getting the top medical experts, the top business experts, top political experts, top religious experts, because that's why we do what we do. Unapologetically and unfiltered. Ain't nobody else in the black media space doing what we do. Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.